There's that one, and let me see if I can get this one over here. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I just love watching this cabbage. It is amazing. Hello, howdy, and welcome back to another update. I'm Catherine, and I'm the Aerogarden homesteader. So, lots of things going on, lots of things growing really well. Do have a little bit of browning going on with some of this new lettuce, especially this one back here. But, oh my gosh, this one is so big. I even harvested from this one, like, quite a bit. You can see there's a lot of missing leaves off the bottom, and this thing is still huge. I mean, can't even really get it all in frame. This one I'm a little concerned about. I feel like head lettuce doesn't really do very well for me. I get a lot of browning around the edges and all that, but this kind of frilly lettuce does really well for me. This one's doing pretty good. I think this is the Buttercrunch. I don't remember what this one is, but this one's a Buttercrunch, and this particular one's doing pretty well. But the ones that I moved to other Aerogardens, kind of getting a little bit of browning going on with that too. The cabbage is doing awesome. Let's get a little head check in here if we can. There's that one, and let me see if I can get this one over here. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I just love watching this cabbage. It is amazing. It's getting pretty big. I'll probably have to take off one of these leaves, bottom leaves, soon. But, yeah, see, this one's getting a little brown around the edge here. This one's got a little bit of browning going on around the edge there. So, it's probably getting close to time when these ones can come off. That'll be good because it'll free up a little bit of space so I can get to the water port. Down here to the bunching onions, which are hard to see because of the green peppers. So, I've been harvesting some more. This one's growing back nicely. And these ones are growing back nicely. The leek is, oh my gosh, the leek is huge. Look at this. It is now spilling over the top of the basket. These poor little onions here, I think the leek has just been shading it out or something. They're just not doing that well. Kind of hoping in January I can cut that leek and eat it, and it'll free out some light space and maybe some root space for these other ones. But I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to hold my breath on these little ones here. They seem like they're struggling so badly that I don't think they're gonna recover. But we are starting to get to the point where it's almost time to start the outdoor garden. I got a new video coming out, a new series where I'm going to start planning my outdoor garden, and I'm going to take you along with me. I am moving some beds around outside and making new beds, so that is actually giving me a chance to show you how I'm doing a few things, because some things are going to be new. Okay, the peppers, they are doing great. I have not had any, oh, dead leaf there, I have not had any change color yet, so, but they are getting bigger. But I have had, I don't know if you can see it, one of my cherry tomatoes is starting to change color. So this one, I feel like it's stunted. Like it is putting out, I don't know if you can see, it's putting out a new side shoot here, between all the little crooks there, but it seems really small and stunted, so I don't know what's going on with that. The green beans, or the purple beans, the bush beans, they are doing pretty good. I still have some going on that are growing, but I think I might call it after this set. I'm getting some more flowers, so I guess we'll see, but the plant just kind of looks terrible again. I need to go through and probably remove some of these dying leaves. But, I don't know. We'll see. It does just seem like it's continuing to go. I mean, you can see there's a whole bunch of new kind of growth in there. It's been fun to watch because I didn't know how many, sets of fruit the bush beans would put out. And it's doing well. But at some point I just kind of have to call it. Especially since I would like to start making some more room in here to start seedlings soon. Okay, onto the lettuce. Again, this one I can't remember, might be an old one. Does seem like it might be starting to go to seed, but I'm not 100% sure. This one's a new one, and I don't know, it's got all this browning going on. It's doing poorly. I might have to just cut this one out and call it done. I mean, the inner part seems like it's doing okay now, but I'll probably give it a little bit longer and see, because I just have a lot of other lettuce to eat. Okay, kale. So, as I mentioned in my last video, I cut out the growing top. And I don't know if you can see, let me see if I can get a little closer. It is starting to push out a little bit of side growth. So it's trying to bush out, which is really good because that's exactly what I wanted. Now if we go to this one, where I didn't cut off, you can see the growing top is still in there. Hope this isn't overexposed. But down here there are no little, you know, you can see that it's there, but they're not growing. They're not actively growing. This one looks like it is actively starting to push out side growth. So that is awesome. In case you decide to grow kale in a sprout, that's hopefully what will happen. So I guess the question is going to be, let me see if I can get the camera in there. Probably not. If on this, where did it go? There we go. If on this main stem here, where I have already harvested leaves, is it going to start pushing out growth? And that's the question. Because I've got all these nodes where it could push out growth. And that's really what I want to know. Sorry about flipping the camera all over the place. Okay, let's move on. The lettuce. More lettuce. Lots of lettuce. I love salads. So, I did harvest the one in the back because it was going to seed. I did leave a bit of a stalk here, and you can see it is kind of pushing out a little bit of new growth here on the side. So, and these leaves are still perfectly usable. I thought I would leave them to give the plant a little bit of chance to push out some nice side growth. So, we'll see what happens. It does save me having to plant more seeds, is really what it does, because I don't think I'm going to put in another batch of seeds after this. I think I'm going to wrap up my garden inside so I can start focusing on the garden outside. I'll probably keep some herbs or cilantro or whatever going on, things I have trouble growing outside. This one's kind of doing the same thing. Some of these are pushing out. I didn't end up taking any of these out of the harvest, so, because hey, I've been busy. So this one back here is starting to push out some. The one even further back, here, let me see if I can get on the other side. So this one's putting some out. These two in the middle are doing really good, actually. I probably could start harvesting from some of these soon. Then this little one here is also putting some out. These ones were doing really well. This is the Buttercrunch again from the new batch, but like there's something going on with the head. It is so firm and hard. Same thing with this one. It's really firm and hard, but see, this one's got a lot of, you can see the browning around the edges. The other one, I can't really see it, so I don't know what's going on. I have been trying to harvest some of the leaves from underneath, but yeah, maybe I'm just not harvesting enough. Okay, more lettuce, more lettuce. So this was one that I had cut the top off and is just pushing out a whole bunch of side growth, which is great. This one, I actually think this one has gone to seed. So different lettuce plants kind of behave in different ways when they've gone to seed. And this one, I don't know if I'll be able to show you very well, but like on the underside of the leaves, they get spiny. So this particular one, I've got some leaves that are starting to, here, I don't know if I can show you, but under here there's like a row of spines, and it's kind of, I've noticed that it happens when it goes to seed, this particular variety. So I think this one is heading in that direction. So I might, oh yeah, there we go. I can see like a little, let's see if I can get you in closer, a little flower starting to form. So I'm probably going to have to just cut this one off today just to prevent that from happening, because they do kind of get better. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. This one that I cut a while back, it's starting to put out some new growth. Although it is starting to get a little tall. I don't know if that's bolting again or if it's just because of the one that's beside it. So, you know, taking up space. These ones are looking pretty good. They are just huge. I have not been harvesting as much from these ones, but I have harvested a few. You can see a few cut leaves. They're doing really well. I have lots and lots of lettuce. I can have a salad every day now. And I haven't even really been putting a dent in it because I've been, you know, having salads every day and it's just been growing like stink. Okay, more kale. These ones are still doing pretty good. At some point I will have to cut the top off. I do have the light up as high as it'll go, so I'll probably let them put out a few more leaves, and then at that point I'll try, you know, cutting out the top to see. I have been harvesting from these ones. I feel like I've been harvesting from a little bit heavy, so they don't seem like they have a lot of leaves on them. I might actually just leave these alone for a little bit and see if I can let them push out a little bit more or grow up a little bit more. the basil. The basil is doing awesome, although I do have the kale kind of encroaching on it. I've been trying to keep an eye on spider mites on the basil. So I took the cumin out, and I'll show you that later. But I took the cumin out of the room, and I moved the basil over, but I can't tell if I've got spider mites going on or not. I did do a big harvest where I took off the tops again to encourage more bushing growth, and you can see that it's actually putting out the side growth again. I ended up just throwing it on a freeze dryer tray and freeze drying it because I'm not really prepared to make pesto. I don't have any of the stuff. I guess I could make a walnut pesto. I have lots of walnuts, but yeah, maybe I'll do that the next time I do a big batch if there's no spider mites. My concern is there might be spider mites on these, and then at that point I might just have to take the whole thing down. So, but it is what it is, and it's not like I don't have any more pods. I've got like a million pods of basil and pesto, or not pesto, but basil, parsley, thyme, all of those, mint, and all of those take over. I mean, they will just take over a harvest like you wouldn't believe. Like, don't grow them by themselves. Don't grow them in, don't fill up a harvest with them, because they really take over. Especially mint. Oh my gosh, mint is terrible. So, okay. So, as I said, I took out the cumin that was there. I got a really nice harvest out of it. I did try to put it outside to freeze it. That didn't really work so much. It's like the spider mites just stopped moving overnight, and then they just came back the next day and they were at it again. So I did have to go through and pull off each cumin seed by itself and kind of roll it on my fingers to kill all the spider mites, and I have to go through and kind of find a way to wash all of this. I didn't want to spray it with chemicals or anything, like even neem oil, because like I'm going to be ingesting this. So I'm going to just try to find a way to rub it between wet paper towel and clean it up. Hey, I just wanted to show you real quick the difference in harvest between, this was the sprout. You can see the seeds aren't all that great. There's some nice ones in there, but they're not great. And then compared to this new one that just came off the harvest, they are so much better. So I don't know if it was just better pollination or what, but yeah, this is what I got. So stay tuned for that Grow Labs update that's coming out on the cumin. I think it's out. It's going to be out this Saturday. So keep an eye on that. But I did get a nice harvest out of it, so definitely a harvest is a way to go. That was a confusing sentence, but I hope you understood. Okay, the leeks are doing great. I do have a lot of the side leaves are like drying. This one's really weird. It's like the side leaf has peeled away from the main, I don't know what you'd call it, the main stalk, but it hasn't dried out to fall off. Most of them will get papery and you can just pull it off, but this one hasn't done that. It's kind of growing really weird, so I don't know. I still have a lot of them that they're just really thin, so I wonder if there's a limit to how many you can put in, even if it's a bounty. They have become water guzzlers. I felt like they were fine before, but like the water has been dropping quite a bit every day. I've been topping it off every day now. Kind of like the way the celery was. The celery was just insane. Speaking of celery, I cleared out what I could. So this one, I cleared out 4 of them, and I left what I felt were the best ones behind, even though, I mean, if you look at them, they just look terrible. I'm going to give them a chance to hopefully recover and see if the new growth will stop having whatever this brown crap is. I don't know what it is. But we'll see. It's definitely stopped becoming a water guzzler. This one, with only 2 in it, has been great. The one with 4, it has been going through the water a bit faster, but not quite as fast as 6 have been. Now these ones were a lot better, except for this one. These ones are in a lot better shape. They were just hollow. So I'm hoping, see, this one still feels hollow, but this one feels good, and this one feels good. So I'm hoping that it's getting enough water now. So the older ones feel hollow, but like the new growth is feeling a lot better. So hopefully it'll be nice. And it is night and day difference. We did end up buying some celery because I just wasn't getting celery. And these are so thin. It's like you kind of forget how big celery is. And then we got celery and it was just like, it was massive and so crisp and watery. And yeah, it was a night and day difference between what I'm growing in a bounty here and what I got from the store. So I might just try to give this some time and see what happens, but you know, maybe this is just the end of it. I did not let any of that celery go to waste. I put it on a freeze dryer tray and freeze dried it and created like celery powder. It's not celery salt, and it's not ground celery seed. I don't like celery seed, it's bitter. But it's just the celery stalks and leaves ground up into like a powder that I can put into, you know, stocks or whatever I'm cooking. This is doing great. I have been getting more out of it every day. I can get like 2 or 3. I might get a little bit more today because I can see there's already 1 here and 2 or 3 here. And look at this! I finally have my 4th head forming! That's awesome. So, I have been starting to get a few more leaves showing with purple. So I don't know if I'm not feeding it enough because I got 1 there, I got 1 here, I took 1 out the other day. There's another one happening down here. It is the bottom leaves, but I don't know if that's a problem. The plant still looks pretty good. I don't know if you can tell. It looks pretty good. It's putting out lots of side growth down here. So, and I don't know if at some point it's worth just kind of cutting out this sort of main one here that was coming up with the main stalk, and then just letting more of the side growth, you know, cut out the main one so that it lets more light further down for the side growth. Oh, there's one over here too. Yeah, I'm going to get a nice broccoli harvest today for my salad. These peppers are doing great. I did come in and give it a little bit of a prune to try to open it up on this side for this one. And I did take out a few leaves on the other side for the one back there. So I'll show you that one in a minute. But I got a couple of peppers in here that are ready to harvest. I got another one forming here. And then I think the rest of the peppers that you can see are from this middle plant, which was I think it's a snacking pepper. And then the one back there, it just has 2 on it, and one of them is just not in good shape. So, don't know what to do about that one. But you can see up underneath, there's lots of red peppers. So I've been harvesting from this as well. I come in almost daily and pick one now. So that's been pretty good. And I have tomatoes. I've got 2 more that look ripe. There's one down there, and then there's one back there, and then this one here is pretty close. It's hard to tell on camera because they all kind of look the same redness, but they have not been getting soft. They're just a firm tomato, so I still have no idea what tomato this one is. Oh, actually the one back here might be softening up a little, so that one might actually be close to being ripe. Actually ripe. I did eat one of the other ones that I thought it was ripe, and it was still firm. It was probably worth picking because it did have a little bit of the, a little end rod on the bottom, so I don't know why it's been doing that. I get like just the barest hint on this one. So, because I've been putting in calcium and magnesium. Oh my goodness. I have not harvested anything from this yet. Look at all those flowers. There are so many flowers. This is a very productive plant. I should definitely put this out in my garden. I have not had very good luck with jalapeños in my garden, but this one seems like it's doing really well, so I might try to get some seeds from one of these. That's another reason why I want to let it go as ripe as possible, because the riper it is, the better the seeds will be. But it's not a super big jalapeno, but it's still, I guess I expected them to be all about this size. You see this one's kind of a little bit of a small one. But they are actually getting bigger. So this one's gotten a bit bigger, and so is this one here. So they're not as mini as I thought they would be. So I don't know what the mini part comes, where the mini comes into play. Because it's certainly not a mini plant. I mean, it's growing really well. Look at this, it's putting out a whole bunch of side growth. It's heading towards my tomatoes again. So, and then, the last tomatoes. The Romas and the Amish pastes. Getting some nice growth out of this. Got lots of tomatoes. I don't see any ripening yet. The ones up near the top I think are starting to lighten in color, so they could be starting, but you know, that could just be my imagination too. But the plant itself is looking okay. It's not in the greatest of shapes. It's not in poor shape, but it must be struggling a little bit because these flowers didn't survive. They actually, it's not that they didn't get pollinated, it's that the flower itself, the plant aborted it or something, because it's just not. Let's see back there, another one, there, that one there. So So the plant is not thriving, but it's not struggling. So, but that is that. So like I said, I have a new series coming out where I'm going to do some outdoor garden prep. Now's the time to start. I know it feels odd, but now's the time to start. I will put the 2 links below that you need for your homework. Your homework, if you choose to do it, is to go find your zone. Or if you can't find your zone because you're not in the United States, go find your average temperature range, because then you can use that to figure out your zone, and that'll help. And then see if you can find your last estimated frost, because that's where we can backtrack when to start all our seeds and seedlings indoors. But that is that, and I hope you found this useful. Please check out that series, whether you're going to start a garden or not, even if you just start like a pot on your patio. It'll be worth it. So go check it out. It'll come out on Thursday. Well, if you found this useful, like and share. Please subscribe so you can find out when that series starts up. And I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.